Hello everyone, welcome to the reading. This reading will be for the energetic storyline of Olivia Rodrigo. Let's see what her current energies are. This won't be a structured reading, it's just whatever pops out. So like if you read what's in the bottom here, it speaks for itself. So it seems like she's associated with some sort of like shady business. That's what I'm getting. Some sort of like shady energies. This could be possibly her team or whoever is sort of like working with her as far as like behind the scenes stuff, like whoever is pushing her. So let's see what that's about. So it's not necessarily so bad as what's being shown to me. I mean, it's bad, but yeah, this is showing me it has a lot to do with sort of like money, resources, sort of like perceptions with the people, has to do with her music. So it's kind of just like she's trying to sort of like structure how she's going to go about things, because she wants, or her and her team would like to have a bigger reach and continue with her success, but they're trying to do it in a sneaky way. I'll just say that. So those are her current energies. So let's see, is she an industry setup like people assume she is? Let's see what's going on with that. All right. So what I'm getting with this is that it's multiple people. It's not just her, it's not just like a producer or anything like that. I'm getting the energies of a lot of different people, sort of like an organization type of situation that's sort of like directing different facets of sort of like her career in music. I'm sorry, I can't really speak at the moment, but yeah, it's different energies, like different people. It's not kind of like a set agenda by her or like like people that are visible. It's multiple things going on with that. Is what's being shown. They're trying to sort of like act in wisdom, so I'm kind of getting the energies that this is kind of like wherever's good for business. I'm getting a lot of business situations with this. I'm also getting that like whatever is being required of her, she's willing to go about it. So that's interesting. It's kind of just like, for the obvious reasons, she's obviously doing this to have her needs met. But at the same time, there's some sort of like underlining sadness going on with her. So this is pretty interesting. Let's see what this can be about. Again, it's sort of just like that energy of the duality that came up earlier. You know what I mean? This sort of situation has its highs and its lows. So, at some moments she might be like really high, and then kind of like reality sinks in, and then, she obviously enters into a low. So that's really interesting. But this is showing me she's definitely passionate with what she's doing. This shows me her team is passionate. And this is showing like whatever they need to do, they'll do. Whatever is going to sort of like set the agenda is what's going to be done. So yeah, that's what's going on. So basically, to answer the question, yeah, she has a industry setup. But obviously, that's like a no-brainer. But let's see. Does her music sound dated because she's copying pop rock in 90s and early 2000s sort of like vibes? So is she copying like the sounds of the early 90s and early 2000s, even like the middle 90s and the like ending of the 90s? Is she like copying sort of like that sort of like vibe and sound? So this has to do with her emotions because the heart was face down. This is kind of like, it's not her doing it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the sound of her music kind of sounds like really dated, and it sounds like it's from like the 90s and early 2000s and all of that. But it's kind of just like her team that's sort of like picking out what they would like for her to be into or perform or make. You know what I mean? She's kind of just like along for the ride is what's being shown to me. So, you know, this would be symbolic of her, and everyone else would be like the team that's working with her. You know, so this isn't really coming from her spirit. You know, it's kind of just like sort of like research and all that sort of stuff. Like, you know, like if they feel like it's going to do good, then that's what she's going to hop on. So they feel like this is like a good sound for the moment to bring back. So that's what they're doing. So let's see. Is Olivia Rodrigo's stance on girl empowerment a gimmick that's taken out of the playbook of Taylor Swift? So let's see, is she copying, or are they copying Taylor Swift playbook as far as like the girl empowerment sort of vibe and all that? So let's see what's up with that. So what I'm getting is that they're definitely observant of sort of like what was successful in the past, and they're trying to sort of like incorporate that into what she's doing. You know, it's kind of just like, its energy is like, oh, I have an idea sort of vibe. Also, excuse me for one moment. I have to like do something for a second. Okay, my bad. But anyway, yeah, this is kind of just like when you have sort of like an idea, you know, they feel like this idea is going to be profitable. So it's kind of just like the idea is obviously trying to incorporate that type of like gimmick into her setup. You know, but this is showing me it'll be successful up to a point. You know, it's kind of just like, I don't want to like invoke karma into this type of situation, but it's kind of just like an instant karma type of thing. It's kind of just like, you know, rumor has it that they're, or allegedly that they're sort of like taking other people's music, you know, so it's not just that, it's kind of just like taking the vibe from like the 90s and the early 2000s. It's kind of just like taking people work as well, you know, and kind of like making it seem like it's just her thing. So this is showing me like karma wise, it's not something that's going to have a longevity to it, you know, like they're going to have like a real high with it, but then they're going to like meet their low. So yeah, this is kind of like an energy of playing with fire. You know, this is showing me like energies of being ruthless, you know, of not having any sort of like balance. this also is like an energy of like war, you know, like fighting. So it's kind of like they're not shying away from a fight. So I don't know if this applies to like more legal situations or more people coming out, but this is kind of like sort of like issues regarding people is what's being shown to me. So yeah, those are the energies with that. So let's see, what are her thoughts on Taylor Swift? Let's see what's going on with that. What are her thoughts on Taylor Swift? She thinks Taylor's like this cool creative, you know. She feel like Taylor has like a lot of ideas that she can apply to, or they feel like, because I know this is about Olivia, but you know, she's not necessarily independent, so it's kind of just like her on top of her team. So it's kind of just like they feel like she's creative, like she has like a lot of ideas, but they feel like she's becoming older, so kind of like her time her time is about to pass. So they feel like instead of just letting it like die out or whatever, you know, they're gonna like rekindle it with Olivia as far as like elements of Taylor's style and all that. But they definitely see her as a creative force, you know, that has a lot of like stuff to offer, a lot of music, sort of like a lot of like lyrics and situations. So I'm also getting the energies as well, like behind the scenes, you know, they're trying to tap into that. So take that as you want, but that's really interesting, actually. So let's see, what is Olivia's current dating situation? Again, it's kind of just like, and I know it kind of seems like I'm repeating myself, but like when the energies, you know, does this, it's, you know, it's what it is. So, but it's kind of just like she can't really have a dating situation that's like spontaneous, because this has to do with passion. But this is showing me that like whatever her situation is as far as dating has to be orchestrated. So it's like she can't be responsible, or she can't like basically have like a normal dating situation. I was gonna say she can't be responsible for it. I guess that's the same thing kind of, but it's like, you know, it has to go through the proper channels. You know, she can't just come on and be like, oh, I like this dude. You know, it kind of has to be like, you know, like orchestrated basically. But that's what that's about. So, okay. So let's see, what does the universe have in store for Olivia Rodrigo? So let's see, what does the universe have in store for her? So the universe has love, which is funny because of what I've just said previously, but it's kind of just like this is a concern for her, is what I'm getting. You know, because of like her celebrity and sort of just like all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. But I don't know if this is going to be a love that'll be out in the open, or if it's going to be private and no one's not going to know about it except her. But for herself, she's going to have sort of like a nice love situation. She's definitely going to find somebody that she gravitates towards. You know, it's going to be a really deep type of love, too, is what I'm getting. But, yeah, that was the reading. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think, you know. Also, stay tuned for more content and all that stuff, you know. I'm trying to make, like, more videos and all that good stuff, you know. Also, check out, like, my astrology sort of stuff. As far as like the zodiac signs and all that, you might find something that applies for you. But yeah, thanks again.